Good Wednesday evening, everybody. David Paul here in the KHOU 11 Weather Center with your tropical update for this evening. And let's see, there we go. Arthur, we've had Arthur, and that's it. And right now, everything is just as quiet as a mouse out there. We're forecasting, or I say we're, NOAA and the Colorado State University folks are forecasting a near normal to maybe just a little bit below normal named storm count for the entire season. 14 is a normal season. If we were to have 14 named storms, that would take us to Nana. 13 is the kind of the consensus for what we'll have this season. We had 13 last season. That would take us to Marco. So that's what we're looking at as far as the forecast for named storms. Again, Arthur, the one that impacted us about a week ago. And since then, things have really just gotten quiet, and that's very common for the tropics to go to sleep after an early season storm until about August 15th, when between August 15th and the middle of October is when we get our statistical peak. Almost all named storms happen in that region, and we're still quite a ways from it. June 24th today, so we're sitting right in here during a very quiet time for the tropics statistically. So yesterday we were talking about a storm that had hit on the day yesterday, the 23rd of June, back in 1960. And it was this storm, it was an unnamed storm that had come up, hit the South Texas coast, and then done one of these loop-de-loops where it slowed down, did a loop-de-loop on itself, and then exited. And that one dumped 25, 30 inches of rain on the Texas coast just southwest of Houston. It's these storms that get blocked by domes of high pressure sitting to the north that are the notorious flood makers. But I thought it was interesting, so I went and kind of pulled up some other storms that I knew had done the loop-de-loop. First of all, this is Harvey, became a major hurricane, made landfall as a Cat 4, and then stalled, did the loop-de-loop right there, and then slowly exited. It took 3.5 days to exit, and of course it dumped 60 inches of rain in parts of southeast Texas. That was the peak rain totals. So we had the 1960 unnamed tropical storm, loop-de-loop, Harvey, loop-de-loop, and then you may remember 2001 Allison. That's this track. Allison came up June, loop-de-loop, and then actually this one ended up crossing its track again as it exited off to the southeast. All of them, the loop-de-loop, and when they're trying to move north, but something stops them and pushes them back down. And that is always the dome of high pressure sitting to the north. So these are three examples of storms where they came in, made landfall, but got blocked by high pressure sitting to the north. And when that happens, it's just a very unfortunate weather pattern. There's no change in the climate. There's no change in the way storms move. It's just sometimes there's a ridge of high pressure sitting to the north. Those are the ones that dump the extremely heavy rain regardless of strength. The one in 1960, very low-end tropical storm. Allison was a low-end tropical storm, low-end moderate tropical storm, and then of course Harvey was a Cat 4 hurricane. Intensity doesn't matter, it's the speed at which the storm is moving through. And if the storm just moves through, maybe it'll dump 10 to 12 inches of rain. But if it comes up and then, it takes 24, 36, 48 hours to do a loop-de-loop, well, then it has a chance to rain on you for 3 days and dump 60 inches of rain like Harvey did. There's a little closer view of the track. There's the unnamed loop-de-loop storm back in 1960. Here is Harvey, loop-de-loop, and then Allison in 2001, stalling loop-de-loop, came back as, it wasn't even a tropical storm at this point, it was just a circulation that fed off of some deep tropical moisture. And that was the one that dumped 35 inches of rain. We thought that was off the chart, and then Harvey came and almost doubled it. So here's your forecast for the number of storms. They're forecasting 13. This is Colorado State, but it matches NOAA. Average is 14. Last year we had 13. 6 hurricanes, 2 majors is what we're forecasting from Colorado State University. And it's nice to have the outlook. It's impossible to know where any of these storms will actually develop or where they will go. They may develop in the open Atlantic and turn away and not bring us a drop of rain. El Nino may be a factor in reducing the storm count a little bit. El Nino region is here. Look how red it is. So what you're looking at are sea surface temperature anomalies. Where it's in the dark red, it's well above normal. And this area is expanding and getting warmer and expanding. And it is forecast to be one of the strongest El Ninos we have ever measured. Got to go back to 97, 98 to get the last strongest one we ever measured. That one resulted in tremendous snowfall during the winter, and that's a point because this El Nino is forecast to last through February. So this is going to be impacting the global weather pattern through the winter season in the Northern Hemisphere. So officially an El Nino advisory has been issued for the East Equatorial Pacific. And you can see how much less red there is over on the Atlantic side. We're still a little bit above normal with the sea surface temperatures on the Atlantic side. They're not nearly as warm as they were last year at this time, but still a little bit above normal. And as you see in the Gulf, it's a little above normal, but warm water alone does not just make hurricanes. There's so many other factors that go into it. But right now the factors are such that there's nothing in the Gulf, just quiet as a mouse. The Caribbean and the open Atlantic are absolutely asleep. Maybe you see this little counterclockwise swirl here. So you've got an upper level, a tut low, tropical upper tropospheric trough. This is what Dr. Neil Frank studied. And these can be big rainmakers, but it's a low level, it's a low pressure swirl way up at the top of the atmosphere. Hurricanes are surface-based systems. So this little swirl is way up at the top, up at 35, 40,000 feet. It's still spinning counterclockwise, but it's not surface-based. But these can be big rainmakers when they move into southeast Texas, interact with the heat of the day. That's a wet weather pattern when one of these gets over you. And hello, Bermuda, you're about to get a wet weather pattern tonight and tomorrow as that tut low moves overhead. Let's talk about the dust, which I think is affecting me. It's either that or a little cold. But several other people in the newsroom were complaining about their throat feeling scratchy all day today. We have a little dust in Houston and the east half of Texas. Can you see? It's the sandy color. That is our modeling depicting the little bit of Saharan dust that's coming all the way from the Sahara Desert today, Wednesday. You can see a little bit out over the Gulf, but it gave us a little bit of a haze in the sky today. That was the impact and our scratchy throats. So a little bit of Sahara Desert in Texas, in town, Houston, Galveston, Wednesday. It may linger into Thursday, but look what's coming. So the Saharan dust. This time of the year is dust season. Early part of hurricane season is often quiet for many reasons, and one of them is this is the time of year when we get the most dust coming off of Africa. We've got a plume here. You can see another plume is waiting to come off the west coast of Africa. And that plume is going to follow the trade winds and move into Texas. This is very common this time of the year. We get several days during the early summer, especially when we can have very hazy skies when the dust comes in. And so this, look how dark that is. So if this verifies, we are going to have very hazy skies going into the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday time frame early next week. Now, most of this dust is at about 5,000 feet, but some of it works its way down to the surface. I think that's what I may be feeling. If you're sensitive to dust, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, maybe lingering into Wednesday, this would be a day when you might be impacted. In the meantime, as I mentioned, no tropical development from the Hurricane Center expected for the next 7 days. Continue to take it one day at a time. Get a tropical update every day, no matter where you are, no matter, even if we have nothing expected for 7 days, things can happen and change very quickly, even overnight during hurricane season. That's where we stand. Next live broadcast on KHOU 11 News at 10 o'clock. We'll see you then.